and they were taxed at over 80%. And so we paid our 80% tariff on these ocean containers that came in, but August 1st, we did have a 10% increase in prices. So hopefully we don't have to have another one. And later found out that that isn't exactly what the situation is. Working with our customs brokers, they're not even exactly sure what the procedures are.
Imagine ordering a luxury pizza oven from Italy, only to find out it costs almost double once it lands in the US because of tariffs. One small business owner actually paid an 80% tariff on 2 shipping containers, and that's not a typo. The question is, who pays that bill, them or you? Stick around, because what looks like an abstract trade policy ends up as a hidden tax on your pizza night. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now back to the video.
Fontana Forni USA is a business that imports high-end outdoor pizza ovens.
We're a relatively small business, and we already have the absolute best of terms with Fontana Forni.
Directly from the family-owned manufacturer in Italy.
How does a fancy pizza oven go from being the pride of your backyard to becoming a financial horror story before anyone even lights it up? That's exactly what happened to Fontana Forni, a small U.S. company that thought it was simply selling authentic Italian ovens for food lovers in North America. You'd think the real challenge would be convincing someone to drop $1,000 or more on an outdoor oven, but no, the hardest part turned out to be just getting the ovens off the damn boat without emptying their bank account.
It's been in operation since 1978. The U.S. distributor works in close collaboration with the Fontana family to bring their designs exclusively to North America. And CEO.
Yeah, it's going to be, the tariff burden comes on to us, and it's a matter of how much of that we want to pass on to our customers.
Jeremy Landy joins me now. Jeremy, thanks for joining us. So your business relies on an imported product.
Here's the setup. Fontana brings in ovens from Italy, made with that old-school craftsmanship Italians have practically trademarked, and they ship them for American customers who want pizza that isn't frozen and cardboard-like. Sounds straightforward, right? But then tariffs come creeping in, much like those hidden Wi-Fi router fees on your cable bill. And these weren't just one-time hits.
Tariffs have impacted us in a couple of different ways. The first one is just being able to figure out how to navigate them.
Your perspective is that the people paying for that are you and your customers.
What most people don't understand is there's actually 2 tariffs on our products. The first one's just the standard 15%.
First came an EU duty, 15% slapped right on the front end. As if that wasn't enough, steel tariffs got tacked on too. So you're basically buying an oven that's made of steel, and now you're paying twice for the privilege. Let's do the retail math, because this is where the dough really collapses.
EU tariff, but then we have a second tariff, which is the steel tariff, which is 50% of the cost of the steel.
There's this brand new analysis that President Trump is touting. It's from the Congressional Budget Office, and it projects that Trump's tariffs over the course of 10 years.
So to give some perspective, in June, I had 2 ocean containers come in.
Imagine the oven costs $1,000 wholesale. By the time someone counts the duties, the steel surcharge, the shipping, and the other random entry fees stacked like a bad tower of Jenga, that oven is suddenly a few $100s more expensive before the company even dares to put it in a showroom. That bump doesn't sound like monopoly money anymore. It's real, and someone has to handle it. Now here's the real dramatic moment.
And they were taxed at over 80%. And so we paid our 80% tariff on these ocean containers that came in, but August 1st, we did have a 10% increase in prices. So hopefully we don't have to have another one. And later found out that that isn't exactly what the situation is. Working with our customs brokers, they're not even exactly sure what the procedures are.
In June, 2 shipping containers arrived, and instead of the usual sting, the company got slapped with something absurd, an 80% tariff bill. 80. That's not a tap on the wrist, that's like being ambushed by a loan shark with brass knuckles. The business owner expected maybe a tough month, but 80%? That's the kind of surcharge that could fry more than pizzas. It could fry an entire company's cash flow in one go. They paid it, but it left a crater in their finances big enough to fit a swimming pool.
80% tax or tariff is a lot. How are you weathering the costs? Do you have to raise prices?
But honestly, we're not exactly sure where it's going to land. But yeah, we've had to raise prices. So it looks as if, because the landscape is always changing, that we're not going to have an 80% tariff at this point in time.
Economists will tell you, and they're kind of smug about it, that tariffs are just like sales taxes. People imagine these things punish foreign governments or greedy corporations overseas. No, that's political marketing. The money comes out of the importer's pocket first, and then it trickles down to you whether you like it or not. Think about your favorite restaurant. You finish dinner, the bill comes out, and surprise, there's a giant mystery fee attached. It's not just the 3% card fee you grumble about.
August 1st was our first price increase in years, and we've even absorbed some of the cost to not pass it all on to the customer. So we're forced to raise prices in order to keep the quality. And
now imagine the waiter dropped $100 on there and told you, "Oh, sorry, government rules." Would you come back? Or would you torch the place on Yelp? With ovens, though, there's nowhere to run. The importer can try to shield the customer for a bit, bleed their own profits, and hope some politician suddenly decides tariffs were just a prank.
so not only does it tie up cash, it's hard to plan, and it constantly has us rethinking inventory level. And it's something that we absolutely don't take lightly. We absorb the cost for as long as we could.
But nobody can absorb that forever. You can push off a higher price tag for months, even years, but at some point the cash bleed gets too painful. That's where Fontana Forney landed this summer. The CEO finally admitted that as of August 1st, they raised the sticker prices for the first time in years. They didn't want to, but continuing to swallow those tariffs was like eating a ghost pepper and pretending it's mild salsa. Eventually, reality catches up with you. So now the suspense is obvious. In the end, who should really be paying these tariffs? Is it the small business already trying to stretch every dollar? Or is it the customer who ends up with a pizza oven that costs hundreds more than they thought? Either way, someone's paying, and it sure isn't the foreign government the tariffs were supposedly aimed at. Tariffs sound like a way to make foreign countries cough up cash, but that's not how it plays out. The bill doesn't land in Brussels or Rome, it lands right in the lap of U.S. businesses and eventually ends up on your receipt. Small importers absorb what they can, but sooner or later prices creep higher for customers. So next time a politician brags that tariffs are painless, ask yourself, is that extra money hiding in your grocery cart or baked into your dream pizza oven? Because when Friday night pizza costs more, trade policy isn't abstract. It's dinner.